Hey guys, before we begin, full disclosure, the Ultrahuman company sent me a sample of this ring to review for you, and I take full responsibility for turning it into an hour-long tutorial on how it works. But oh my gosh, I'm excited about this one. I am part of their affiliate program. When you use my link and get your 10% discount, that gives me credit with the company for having turned you on to this device. Here we go. Greetings and welcome to SmartWatchTix.com, where we are introducing rings and things with the Ultrahuman Smart Ring. It's here. It is here. If you've been watching this channel, you remember that we got in this special kit for ring sizing the brand new Ultrahuman Ring Air. It's a great kit. It's what you get first when you order one, and you get to pick out the size that fits the finger that you want to use. I will have a link in the show notes directly to that unboxing of the ring sizing kit, but we are here today for the true unboxing, wow, of the actual ring itself. Now it's a ring! Look at this box! Oh my gosh. Well, you know, these things come from India, and India is really big on presentation, so I applaud them for putting the Ultrahuman Ring Air in such an amazing package as this. Here's some basic product info for you on the back. April 2024. Right now, it's the beginning of May. So, I mean, they pump these things out really, really quickly. Inside the box, are you ready? The grand reveal. There it is. I got a silver one. Wow. Now, as we take it out and look deeper in the box, I do want to share with you the Ultrahuman Ring Air, and that's what the puppy looks like up close, is available in all these different sizes: raw titanium, black, matte gray, bionic gold, and space silver. And we've got an exclusive discount link for you, real easy to remember, bit.ly/ultrahumanring, bit.ly Ultrahuman Ring. It should automatically put TIX in as a discount code, and it will give you a 10% discount. And these guys don't normally knock off any percentage on the ring, so this is a pretty darn good deal for you. When we dive into it, you see that it's a little lifting platform. The ring is hovering right in here. Now, I got 10 fingers. I got other trailblazing rings on here. This is the Aura ring. You've heard of that, of course. The Ringcon ring. This is the circular ring. And the coveted middle finger is going to get this beautiful Ultrahuman Ring Air, especially this one right here. It's nice and snug. Watch the review on that. I've got them sized and spaced so they don't collapse with each other. And the middle finger is now taken. Let's dive into the box. You lift it up. You got a couple of things. We've got a little card to begin with that says, "Hey there." I love it when it starts in a casual way. You got your hands on more than a ring. It's a powerhouse, a loyal companion, and a silent cheerleader. It's created with titanium and armored in tungsten carbide, a masterpiece of silent strength. But they do let you know that it's invincible, that you'll get some nicks and scratches, some little love marks, especially if you work out with dumbbells and things. So appreciate your uniqueness as well as your rings as you start wearing it, okay? Then we've got Hello Cyborg. We'll look in that package in a minute, but we've got to look at these things. There's, this is so recessed in here. There's a special charging dock. It uses a standard USB-C. It's got a little flat spot here, which is where the ring aligns with it. There's a light that lights up here, really beautiful too, interesting colors. And this is how you charge it. And of course, what is a charging dock without a wire, right? I'm sure inside of here, I just use a standard wire, so I haven't even looked in the box yet. But I have taken this out and the ring and charged it. I'm putting some data on it, and I'll tell you all about that in just a minute. Wow, okay, I guess it's really in here. Well, it's a charging wire. What can I say? It's got the tip, it's got the plug. I don't want to take it any further than this because I don't really need to use it for charging this. You can plug it anywhere, anytime. Small, can take it with you in your pocket. Are you ready to go deeper? No, I thought so. But first we got to look at the user's manual, getting started, and how to charge your ring. Whoa, I mean, there's not much to show you where to go. In the ring itself, it's going to be primarily in the app, so I don't have a big display thing like a watch to show you. So we can page quickly through the manuals. If you're ordering one, you may want to check these out up front so you can get some of the background information. You'll get this, of course, in the package. There's some disclaimers in here, warranty information about the device, good warranty on this one, limits of liability, all of those types of things. So that's the first one. There's troubleshooting and a QR code for product specifications and all the other information. Getting started now. Here we go. You're going to download the latest Ultrahuman app. I'm going to show you that in just a second to get us started. You're going to plug your ring and charger into the dock in a power source and get it all charged up. The LED will turn purple to indicate it's ready for charging. Place the ring on the dock. A white LED on the charging dock will blink to indicate it's charging properly. And then charge at least 30 minutes. But guys, come on. It's really, really good on all these things. Watches, rings, and everything. To charge it fully up the first time, try to hold off a little bit. Go do something and charge it till it's full. Mine was at about 60%. I have no idea how long it took. I came back a couple hours later and it was fully charged. So take your time and do that. And before you pair with your mobile device, make sure Bluetooth is switched on and switch on your location services for pairing. Let's take a look at that after we show how to charge your Ring Air. Super, super simple. Just connect it, drop the ring on it, the LED will light up, and it'll start charging. Here's some information now that I really like you to know that goes a little deeper on how to properly set your ring up. It's called Ultrahuman, the app that you're going to look for in the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. This is what the icon looks like. That's their logo. And you simply install it and prep it and open it. Now, I just want to call your attention to, this is like May 2nd, I think, April 29th. It just got updated a few days ago, and they added an entire new tab on the bottom called Zones, so the app is evolving faster than I can keep up with it. It's really crazy. When you get it and you install it and you open it, you're not going to see this. You see a bunch of things that says it's locked, it's locked, it's locked, because it doesn't give you any data unless you've got data to see and you've got some trend analysis that you can work with. For example, some movement throughout the day. You got to have at least, 250 steps or something before it'll even show you anything. So it just says it's locked. I wish I would have filmed that first so you could see what it looks like right out of the box. But don't worry, just keep wearing your ring, and every time you come back, you're going to see different stuff. We're going to walk through this later after I have more data to show you, because I really want to have it, fully loaded. And while I'm doing that, we're going to run through the specs. But before that, let's take a close look at this thing. Wow, it even's got its branding with the size of the ring right inside. You can see all of the different sensors. Wow, they even have reflectivity in the light. Look at that. All embossed in here, wired together. Amazing, beautiful technology. And the outside is super. This is a nice, sweet silver one. And honestly, I have collected the data. I've been wearing this for almost a month now, and nary a scratch. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, the specs on it. We've got a body dimension of about 8.1 millimeters thick. That's this thickness, the width of it here, I believe. Width. And then the thickness is that's the 8.1 millimeters, and this is the overall thickness. Runs from 2.45 to 2.8, which is where it bumps up there just a little bit in that lower part, you see? And it varies, of course, with size, this being a size 11. Weight, 2.4 to 3.6 grams, which is super light, guys. Its material makeup, the outer shell, is from fighter jet grade titanium. Hear that, Tom Cruise? Yeah, reinforced with tungsten carbide carbon coating, making it resistant to everything. Really, very, very nice. Now, they do mention, and I agree, don't go out and do things that are obviously going to scratch this, like lifting dumbbells and things like that, or digging holes. Actually, I did dig a hole, but I had gloves on. Be careful with it. You want to get the best look out of it, right? It uses the Bluetooth low energy BLE5 for connectivity, automatic firmware upgrades, and I've already had 3 in the last 3 weeks, so they are really improving it. Compatibility with iOS and Android 6 and above, and it's EMF radiation safe, so you don't have to worry about having Bluetooth on your finger, okay? These are the different sensors in here. The 6-axis motion one gets you your step count. You've got red, green, and infrared diodes. And believe it or not, they're all sandwiched in that one little center section there. Because that's the only glow that comes out of this one at night. And if you have it on correctly, it's going to be right in the lower part of your finger right there. It's going to line up, so when you have it on, it's going to be either all the way down or wherever you position it. I have mine up a little bit so it doesn't conflict with the Oura Ring, but it's going to be right there. And so that's where you want to just try to keep it aligned. And with the one central location, it makes it really easy. And then, of course, your battery, it's a rechargeable, non-replaceable, 24 milliamp hour lithium Po battery. What is that one, guys? Put it in the show notes or in the comments. This is a whole new one. It lasts up to 6 days on a full charge, and you get 2 to 3 hours to fully charge it from 0 to 100%. I'm down a bit because I've had it on, I think, 3, maybe 4 days now without charging it, and that's okay. It's still going strong. Now I've got some features and battery life information and pricing and such on here. We are going to talk about that, but I know you want to see the data. Here it is. After almost a month of wearing the beautiful Ultrahuman Ring Air, I've accumulated a lot of data. And we're going to break this down. Some of you guys I know are just cursory looking at it, and some of you want to go deep. So we're going to do a pass-through real quick to show you the categories. It covers movement. This is all that step count stuff and other things, and it gives you an overall movement score. When I tap it and go deeper, we'll see levels and levels below that. But just keep in mind, it's taking account of your movement activity. Calories burned, total step count is all part of that. It has a whole nother section on stress. It's called stress rhythm, and it's their approach to how you handle everyday stress. And interestingly, the approach is to say, let stress work for you rather than run away from it and always try to get rid of it. If you use creative, positive stress in your life at the appropriate times in your cycle, you can be most effective in your beingness. And they really come to the point of showing you how to do that with the data that's collected by the ring. Okay, movement, stress, recovery. After you do a lot of workouts, activities, you want to know exactly where you are in your recovery cycle and how to optimize it. We'll go deeper into this too. Talk about dynamic recovery. Brand new stuff. Really amazing. Start an NSDR session and improve your recovery score. That's a tactic that you can use for improving recovery. Okay, so we've got movement, stress, recovery, and of course, sleep. How did you sleep? All factors into all of this, and it knows what you did. And yes, indeed, I had, oh my gosh, last night's meal was so good. I paid a little bit of a price for it in sleep, and it could tell exactly what was going on. You'll see that in a chart in a minute when I dive in there. You got your sleep duration and your resting heart rate, the main factors along with it, and you'll see this expanded in more detail. Now, this is really cool. You see this thing flipping around and counting down and doing stuff? This is a whole new area dealing with your circadian rhythm, your sleep-awake time. You know, nocturnal animals are up at night and sleep in the day. We are supposedly up in the daytime. So in just a little bit, we're going to go deep into this, and I'm going to take you back in time to this morning when I was in a special zone that you can do things that help you to shift your circadian rhythm earlier if you want to. to advance it. You also have quick start for breath work and workouts in here. You've got your individual markers then, which is basically heart rate, your VO2 max, and temperature deviation. And those all help factor into how those things you just saw will be computed. You've heart rate variability and resting heart rate too. And then you set up some goals and you see how well you did each day. Did you see that thing flash across the bottom? And it vibrated a little bit. That's it. It's updating from the ring when it's doing that. One of the ones I accomplished was waking up early today, and then you get your timeline, which gives you information of things that you can do, little suggestions along the way. And the ring battery and the overall information on the ring is here, and their store and so forth, and you can even engage friends to join you in your health process as well. And they remind you that your data is 100% secure. So on the very first home tab, that's what things look like. This is the top level of all of the data. We're going to dive deeper. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. This amazing ring is near weightless. It says it's 2.8 grams of weight across all the different sizes, which is 20 times lighter and significantly sleeker than most of your watches that you wear, okay? It's hyperallergenic, safe for 24/7 wearability, robust titanium. We mentioned that it's made with scratch-resistant substances, notchless and fully round, okay? It's seamlessly a circle. And because of that, it's super waterproof, resistant up to 100 meters. That's 10 ATM. But they recommend that you don't submerge it in water for more than 12 hours. Now, I thought about, okay, how anybody going to be out underwater for 12 hours? Maybe if you're in the Marines or something. But it's also possible you could drop it in the pool. So make sure you try to hunt your ring if it's underwater and pull it out of water, okay? Overall battery life, information about that again, it's using its special charging dock. You just place it on the dock and it'll charge it up for you. These are the different 15 supporting languages, and as I understand it, they continue to add to them as well. And in terms of pricing, it's running about $349 retail price. Again, remember, we can get you 10% off of that immediately with the discount code TICS. That's the same price as the Oura Ring. It's a really good deal, especially considering that everything you do with the app is free. You don't have to pay a subscription to get access to some of the deeper data analysis that happens on the Oura Ring. Here, it's all included for free. And it's interesting. It's like a hue color change on your basic color palette that the Oura Ring brings forward. The way that the Ultrahuman Ring Air works with this, basically the same data in many cases, is unique in the way its features work. And we're going to show you that. Let's jump in at this thing they call dynamic recovery. Now, it's dynamic recovery, and they're using the philosophy that your recovery isn't static. It's constantly changing, and it's actually behaving like a wave, and it's under your control to mitigate your recovery process. It's influenced by your sleep performance and other factors, such as dysregulated stress rhythm that can cause recovery troughs in the wave, and naps, breath work sessions, and so forth, that those things can improve it. So looking at improving and changing your overall dynamic recovery is one of the aspects that the Ultrahuman Ring Air brings to the table. It recognizes the wave of your body's state by analyzing your sleep, your heart rate variability, and your temperature. All those factors are picked up by the device, and they're taken into consideration to get you that number. If it's suboptimal, it not only nudges you toward actions that you can do to help that, but also contextualizes your markers against these actions. In other words, it shows you the improvements when you do those things, and you'll see that in some of my data. When you take recommended recovery measures, such as naps and so forth, it will adapt and reflect your body's improved balance. It's a game changer if you're an athlete or someone who trains. Now, really a wake-up call for those of you who do that. By the way, if you do you use Strava? today. I just got notice from these guys that Strava is now integrated with the Ring Air, and you can transfer your Strava data over here and factor it all into what it's doing and giving you these nudges on improving your game. Yeah. Okay, so if you're an athlete or anybody really, you're going to have great opportunities to take this to the next level. It reflects positive changes in your body in real time, and it means it can closely reflect your body's markers as to how you actually feel. Great, let's take a look. That one is in the dynamic recovery, and I'm at an 86. It's up 4 because of my stress rhythm. And I haven't even talked to you about that because that's coming next. I took advantage of stress rhythm this morning to do some stuff. Let's go in. Here we go. Here's my several previous days in here with a marker putting them together. And the contributors to my dynamic recovery, are my overall resting heart rate, which it says is within range. And I can come in here and see what those factors are. 88, optimal. Cumulative average, and it gives you some information that you can go through about what this is for and how it factors in. Your sleep quality playing a factor, and there, the resting heart rate synopsis. Can you see it? Great. I'm leaving these here and slowing them down so you can take a moment. If you really want to study what this ring will do for you, you can look and read those by freeze framing it. Here's your temperature information. Now, these come again when you look at the contributors to make it all up, but we're in a special section now on this dynamic recovery, and it's talking about that in detail right here. With me so far? There's the 7-day heart rate variability form. Never even heard of that before, but it's here. And here's some specific information, how to improve it. Workouts are good for improving it, optimizing your sleep environment, and then a descriptor about HRV form. Looks like it's doing pretty good on the camera. Okay. And then a little bit more. Next, that was HRV form. There's last night's heart rate variability. For me, it dropped. It went down a bit. And so that's something I could work on. And it gives me, again, information on, HRV form. Is it the same thing? It looks like it is. Okay, so HRV form and 7-day HRV form, these are both coming to the same thing. The sleep index is good, basically. Not great, but good. And here's how you can improve your sleep quotient. Avoid eating before bed. And then exactly what it is in their terms. And what the sleep factor is being used for. So all of these, again, current stress rhythm score, are being factored in. And this is jumping already into the stress area. We will come back into this and look at it in more detail because it was this that gave me 4 extra points in my overall dynamic recovery level at the current time right now, today. Dynamic recovery. Now let's jump over to stress rhythm. I love it. This has already been superseded by dynamic recovery as being the latest groundbreaking feature. It was only a week and a half ago, stress rhythm popped up. So they are just popping out new techniques and features. This will be a dated video within a month or two, but it'll all still apply, plus more. We may have to do some updates. Stress has a pretty bad rep, and they're trying to put a spin on it. Stress isn't bad. It's a physiological response to threats or challenges, and when your body feels challenges, it prepares for a fight or flight response. Imagine chasing tight deadlines, or in our ancestors' case, predators chasing them. However, your body has a cyclical nature influenced by the circadian rhythm. There it comes up again, and that's another feature we're going to go into. This cyclical nature is deeply tied to the way your body handles stress itself. There's certain hours of the day when you can tolerate stress better. That's the advantage. There are hours when the body handles stress poorly. This unique context can help you leverage stress according to your particular body rhythm. which is why we're going to have to dive into your circadian rhythm as well. The Ultrahuman Ring Air is the first and wearable technology to use the context of stress against the backdrop of your circadian rhythm. With the groundbreaking capability of stress rhythm, you can leverage stress to maximize your productivity and optimize its impact on your rest and sleep quality. It considers now the variations in your heart rate variability, resting heart rate against your actual circadian rhythm. The rhythm is a 24-hour cycle that's part of your internal clock running in the background to carry out essential functions and processes. It also governs the cortisol cycle, which is important in understanding how your body tolerates stress. So cortisol peaks in the morning and declines throughout the day, reaching its lowest point at night during sleep, influencing how we handle stress at different times. So it's actually deep in the middle of the night that's going to influence how you're able to handle stress the next day. You see why sleep is really important? It's the sync with the phase of your circadian rhythm. And here we go. In the stress rhythm. It's bouncing and bopping, and I've got this whole chart. I don't think I can move it, but it's at the current time at the moment. And if you look at yesterday, just to jump over here, this is what the stress rhythm looks like after the day is done. But while it's happening, it's like this. So anytime you open the app, it's dynamically changing right in front of you. Really different in the morning and the evening when you're in different phases on your circadian rhythm stuff. And again, here on the stress rhythm, it's doing all this stuff going on here too. So the stress tolerant zone is where we are now, and there's mild stress is useful to boost creativity. I am in stimulated mode right here. Can you tell? I don't think I could do a video and not be stimulated to some extent. Here we go, my stress timeline showing the percentages, just like your sleep score would be, light and deep and REM and all that stuff. This is your stress levels throughout the day. For me, for this day, if I tap it and go back a day, it changes the numbers to the day before and the day before. So you've got that capability here. Come back to me. Then you've got this amazing chart here. And this is what's really fun. Here's your nighttime to dawn, and dawn in the morning to noon, and noon to nighttime. And it's showing your represented levels here, and these are your actual levels. And there's your minima, which we haven't even talked about yet, which has to do with your temperature at night. And your phase advance, phase dead, and phase delay. These are the things that make up your circadian rhythm, and these are the stress levels that are happening during that time frame. And this is like the zone or the marker of when you can handle more stress. So when you're between here and here, which is in what they call the phase dead, circadian dead zone, and there's nothing dead about it. It just means it's the middle of the day. Your circadian nighttime is in the middle of the night. And the dead zone, meaning that you can't really modify, or whatever you're doing, even stress, doesn't have as much influence on you as your phase advance in the morning, which is dawn, and your phase delay in the evening, which is dusk, roughly, when that transition is happening in your circadian rhythm. And you move into a whole different area. But this is the data. We are in the phase dead, and this is the breakdown stacked on top of it, and you can see the previous ones are listed here. Then I've got my phase delay coming up later tonight. In fact, it starts when I get to the place where it talks about it. Here it is. Right here. This is the circadian rhythm, and in about 3.5 hours, I move into that phase delay. So let's dive into that next, because that ties back into the stress, right? Are you guys still with me? I really hope so. I am going to wrap it all back up, but we got to go really deep down the rabbit hole for just one more level of information on the circadian rhythm. Here we go. There are 4 different phases to your circadian rhythm, and they're called the circadian dead zone, phase delay, temperature minima zone, and phase advance. blah, blah, blah. New language, new everything. Let's make it simple. I'm going to start here because this is kind of the trigger of this whole graphic chart, 24 hours of the different zones you go through. And I'll tell you why. It has to do with a specific point in time during the middle of the night, late in the night, when your core temperature is down at its lowest. Your minima zone refers to the probable zone of your sleep where you're experiencing the minimum core temperature in your body. Your ring is measuring that. And because it's right here, it can accurately, really accurately tell the differences in your temperature as you're sleeping. So it calculates and remembers that temperature. If you're exposed to light and activity during this 1 hour window when you're in your minima zone, it's detrimental to your sleep quality. So the first thing you can do is think about making sure when you're asleep at night, deep at night, you'll see where these things are showing up, that you don't get interrupted. Because if you have a really good sleep during your minima zone of your circadian rhythm, everything else will flow. Because after the minima zone comes phase advance. Phase advance is more or less near dawn when the sun is coming up, but it can start before, it can start after, and as you know, the days get longer and shorter, winter and summer, northern, southern, latitudes and whatnot. This is a phase shift in your circadian clock that moves your bedtime and wake-up time to earlier in the day. What? It can actually move your circadian bedtime and wake-up time? Yes. And that is what really sets this ring apart from all of the others, really. And even the Oura ring, from what I've seen, where it just tells you whether you're ahead of or behind your average circadian rhythm based on days and days of accumulating the data and figuring out where you actually are. You can change that. You can get up earlier, clearer headed. Or if you have to work at night, you can shift it the other way. We'll get to that at the very end. But with this one, the phase shift in your circadian clock that moves your bedtime and wake-up time earlier in the day, big if, you expose yourself to bright light or do physical exercise within this window. Also, eating during that window is good. Phase advance window lasts about 4 hours after your sleep temperature minima. So you're at your minima sleep. It's been calculated. It's been figured out. It's been logged. 4 hours later, the phase advance starts, and it looks something like this. This is a screenshot of a couple of days ago, and it has a countdown clock, and I was just curious what happens when when you're doing it. And so I played it out, and I'm scrolling down now. This is basically, I haven't moved. You see it says movement locked because I'm asleep right now. And I just woke up. And I'm 4 hours after my minima, which is right about here, the minima, right? And then there's the phase advance. So we're at the end of the phase advance, ready to go to the next phase. This is everything so far from the beginning of the night, the minima zone of about an hour, and then moving on into the phase advance. And now, in a few seconds, what'll happen? Clock runs out. And it computes and switches to this other one called the circadian dead zone. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And it adds that now to the top of this whole list. So we have phase advance, and we have techniques now that the ring can gear you to incorporate into your lifestyle if you want to shift your circadian clock earlier. Make it more advanced. You're getting up more advanced during the day. After the phase advance zone comes the notorious circadian death zone. Yes, light exposure during that window has minimal to no impact on your circadian clock. And it's a long time. It lasts about 11 hours before getting into the dusk phase delay. So dead zone doesn't imply anything other than you really don't have much control of changing things, so it's kind of a dead zone to play with. However, it's good for being able to handle stress if you're in that zone, much more so than some of the other zones, especially your temperature minima zone. I don't think you want to be stressed out then. So we followed it, right? Your temperature goes into the phase advance, goes dawn, goes into the full day of this dead zone, circadian dead zone, and into the evening now, early evening. And that's your phase shift in your circadian clock that will move your bedtime and wake up time to later in the day. This is why you guys end up staying up late at night if you do things that encourage that phase delay to happen in your life. You'll tend to wake up and go to sleep later in the day. This happens due to exercise. If you're exercising during that period, bright light exposure. That's why they introduced that thing on phones and watches where you can turn it into the amber kind of color instead of the blue light, so that it softens the bright light exposure and helps you so you don't shift your circadian rhythm later and later and later and get up groggy in the morning. The phase delay window starts about 8 hours before your sleep temperature minimum. And what does that phase advance actually look like? Well, I haven't gone to sleep yet. It's tonight, right? Actually, I have. And this is tomorrow. And here's last night, screen recorded. Like I said, it's constantly changing the way the app shows you what it's showing you. So you have to be in these windows in order to see it. Here you go. There's the whole thing. Now phase delay is added to the complete day's summary. But wait, there's more. Guess what else happened last night? From the time I was recording the first part to the time I recorded the second part that you just saw, the company added something brand new called a stimulant reduction window. Whoa! And I got a video of that as it relates to last night's phase delay. I'm going to start it out for you. Here you go. From the opening screen, we scroll down just like we have. And here's where we had this thing. But look, I got this stimulant restriction window. And it gives me this chart that is showing this. It basically telling you what you can and can't ingest that may have caffeine in it. And it gives you a list of things that you can do and a list that you can't. This is the caffeine delay or decay graph. And it starts out early in the day, high, and then peters out. And it's saying that you could drink these kind of liquids. That would be okay. But there are 0 caffeinated beverages that you should be able to take in this late at night, now between 7:50 and 8 o'clock in the evening. Nothing on the list of caffeinated beverages to drink. The reason I'm showing you this from last night is because I'm going to show you what it shows right now, the next day, after they added this. A word of caution, though. You finished? Okay, here we are now. For the life of me, I've never done a review where I'm chasing the app because it's changed so frequently. From the top, in the home screen, there's your movement page, stress rhythm, dynamic recovery. We went over all of these, sleep, and now this whole thing is even bigger. There's the where we are, the neutral impact of light in the circadian dead zone with about 5 hours left. And this is the stimulant permissible window. This is new. Time across that axis and milligrams of caffeine stimulant that you can take and where you are. Let's get into it. It's saying that there's 12 caffeinated beverages left that at 12:20 in the afternoon I could drink now and still have it out of my system so that I would be relaxed at the bedtime threshold way out here. What are they? White tea, green tea, you see them. They're all in the bright white light. A Diet Pepsi, yay! Or a regular Pepsi, yay, yay! Wow, Diet Coke's on there, black tea, Mountain Dew, even instant coffee. You can have a cup of instant coffee. Takes 1 hour, almost 2 hours to get out of your system, and espresso is available as well. What's not allowed? Small cappuccino, just a small cappuccino, and it's early afternoon, 1 in the afternoon. That still would be in my system 2 hours and 55 minutes later. The ones that are shaded out are the ones that, when you can see the bar, how long it takes, all the way up to a cold brew, 200 milligram, or a 5-hour energy drink will take 7 hours to get out of your system. It's already past time you could drink those. If I would have done this earlier in the morning, like way back here at 8 a.m., you'd see I could take in a whole bunch of things right off the bat and have jitters all day if I wanted to, right? Tapping the eye tells you what it is, the caffeinated delay graph, and you just saw that as it scrolled through in the replay, and the caffeinated beverages you saw as well. Remember, you can hit those information buttons anytime you want to find out more. So now not only do we have the whole circadian rhythm issue and opportunity to play with, but you got a little bit more control over it if you throttle your intake of caffeine. Wow. All of that stuff goes together then in the circadian clock. And I'm not going to read this all to you, but I'm going to put it here and let you freeze frame it and read it at your leisure, because it goes over a little bit of what I just said, but goes into much more detail on tactics and techniques that you can use to achieve whichever goal you have in mind related to manipulating, and that's a good word, manipulating your personal circadian rhythm. You can be an all-nighter if you work the night shift. You can be an all-dayer. You can get up early and flock with the pigeons. Whatever you'd like to do. There are opportunities to work with the data that you get from the device itself to bring that about. So let's switch over to today. That's right here. And I'm in this zone right now. This is that circadian dead zone, right? And this is the phase alignment process of it. And you can see the green is kind of here where noon is straight up, and it ends right here. It's actually turning around here. The phase advance movement, and here was this morning's 1,700 step requirement in phase advance to help move the circadian rhythm earlier, to get up earlier, to be more alert when I get up. And I did it in the sunlight, so I got both of those going for me, and I had a little snack. That's all three good things to do if you want to phase advance your circadian rhythm. And I had over 2,000. That's why I'm doing this review today. It's like, no, I don't want it to happen. If I lose this today, I can't show it to you tomorrow. I guess I could record it for you. But anyway, we're doing it right now. And my minima zone now happened at 2:05 a.m. when I hit the lowest temperature of 94.03 degrees Fahrenheit, and there it shows you see it light blue right there? That's the hour or so of zone of when it kicks off the calculations for all these other things. So far I've gone through my minima, I've gone through my phase advance, and I'm now in my dead zone, and then the final one, the phase delay, will be coming up after this time runs out, and I'll have another little circle in the actual current app that will cover that. When you go back to the previous one, like I said, you get different display for this. Here we go. It's in the timeline area. You don't get the actual graphs or anything because time has already gone by. But here, 5:18 p.m. phase delay window is starting. It talks about, then again, what this basically means, and a little tidbit of information that you're in that zone at that particular time. But when you are in the current day, you will have constantly a countdown clock of one of these four different phases of your circadian rhythm. Wow, we aren't done yet. We still have to weave this all together, right? So we get back to the stress tolerance activity. Now here you see a little bit of a graph here showing you stress tolerance versus time. And basically here's how it goes down. During the circadian dead zone, that's middle of the day, bright light, daytime, and the phase advance, which is in the early morning, your body is better primed to tolerate stress. On the flip side, during your phase delay at night, your body's getting ready to wind down, and it's best to avoid stress during that particular phase. Aligning your lifestyle against this cycle will help you leverage stress for peak productivity while improving your rest and sleep quality at the same time. Stress rhythms align with this cycle. It considers the heart rate itself and the resting heart rate and heart rate variability through each of the different phases of your circadian rhythm. A higher score means that you're regulating your stress well and are working with your circadian rhythm. A lower score conveys that you have dysregulated stress and are potentially working against your circadian rhythm. So here's some charts as an example. And relaxed overall would look something like this. Stress might look like this. Stimulated might look like this. And the stress rhythm tells you that if you're stimulated, relaxed, or stressed based on these states, leverage stress at your body's peak tolerance to drive focus and productivity, and avoid stress at your body's lowest tolerance for better rest and sleep quality. And again, related to the zones, that's going to be somewhere inside this dotted line. Your stress tolerance goes up. This is a bedtime, or even a little bit before, and that's in the middle of the night, all the way over to your minima right there. So you want a lower stress level there, but your stress tolerance level can go up as it goes further through the day. And that breakdown, again, is right here with the current place that you are in the app at the current time broken out into a bar chart like that. Bottom line, my stress rhythm score, taking all that in consideration, is 92. Yesterday, 84, 83, and so forth. So you can track this over time and try to improve your overall stress rhythm score. And I'm sure you'll find if you're working stress to your advantage, then it's a feel-good stress, adrenaline rush, as opposed to stress from tension and not doing well. Where you turn out on this is going to be where you are, and you can again use some of these techniques and use the data of the circadian rhythm as it's being adjusted forward or backward based on whether you're doing things like getting out in sunlight and walking 1,700 steps in the early phase, or whether you're eating and staying up late and looking at your phone in bright blue light in the evening. You have control over it. We are almost finished. We've now covered a lot of it. I'm going to tap into standard stuff like movement. You have a movement index, and I'm hitting 100 for today. I got some nice step count information in here. This is like a watch or another ring where you're going to get your overall step data daily and weekly and monthly. I just put it on in April, so now, my first month it's just shooting up there. But here's some changes over the week, weekly, and then daily right here. You see it all there. That's in your basic step count. What else about your steps is down here. Then you've got your active minutes, which isn't really working for me. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm getting 1 MET. Occasionally I get something like a 1.3. When I look at this, it's pretty much flat line. I'm not very aerobic at this point, mostly sedentary, but with some activity. And this might be something that will kick in when you get metabolic equivalents that push you higher than basic sedentary living. Active hours, that's getting up and moving around per hour. And your total calories, active and resting, are shown here. And I presume you can go into this in more detail as well on a daily basis. And then workout frequency is in here too. So that's all in the movement area. We did stress. We've talked dynamic recovery. An NSDR session is something you can do with different types of breathing processes and this actual non-sleep deep rest process. That's for something way beyond where we are right now. That would be an advanced video. Let me know if you're interested in these deeper details, and we can cover that stuff in a future video. But for right now, just recognize that it's there. And then we have sleep time. Here's your basic overall sleep information for last night. These are the indexes that were tracked and how things are looking. It does your oxygen saturation. And notice there's an information button for each of these, and you can get much more detail when you tap that. It'll go through what SpO2 is and how it's working on this one. Here's your sleep stages, and then your overall sleep chart as well, broken down to awake, REM, light, deep, and then even unknown if it can't figure it out, like maybe you took it off, right? Heart rate then. Your lowest heart rate is shown right here, different than your minima temperature zone, right, or phase, which is calculated differently. Then you got heart rate variability, and there's your average temperature. Not showing minima on this one, but it is showing you your overall temperature. And then after sleep, we had our circadian rhythm information. There's breath work, which we in a sense just looked at. You have workouts now. This is coming more and more. They're adding this to the Ring and through the Ring to the app, where you can start like an outdoor walk or run or something and do it just like you would on a watch. Very, very nice. Cross training in here, HIIT, cricket, basketball, hiking, core training, high intensity 5 to 9 METs. For those of you deep into this stuff, you know what all that means. It's very available there. Then you got your individual markers, and we showed you this already when we came in through a different way, but here's your basic heart rate. Now, I haven't started to show you any of this. I'm saving it for the end, but I may as well right now because we're kind of way over here. But notice that the chart can go back like this. It has a range, and then it gives you the average, and it's giving you kind of an average chart all the way through. But you have the ability to scroll through the data on the chart. Now, some of this charts expand, while other ones just scroll. You can tell by trying to do a pinch and zoom. This one doesn't, but it does show you just a narrow window of where you are right now on here. Temperature deviation, when I come in on here, I'm getting the daily high and low deviations. I was way low night before last and then high last night. So not sure what's going on there. And then the overall skin temperature and sleep time, 7-day baseline temperature. So these are like a moving average, and my moving average is slightly going down across that. And that can be moved along so you can see how you've been doing over time. And this one, sure enough, there's all the previous temperatures, but it doesn't expand, it just slides. Interesting. Okay, resting heart rate, same type of thing. We've got that information here and a little bit more about it. I mean, this app just goes on and on and on. And then your SMART goals. And these are the ones that are set up for me. I've set these things when I set up the app to begin with. I want to do 8,000 steps a day. I've exceeded that. I want 10 hours of activity. I've got 7 so far. I haven't hit that yet, but the day is still young. Well, it's getting old, but it's still young. Active minutes, going to sleep early. Here's when I actually went to sleep versus when I want to go to sleep. This is when I wake up, and it's earlier than I set as my wake-up time. Duration is longer than the 6 hours minimum that I want to have. Your workouts, and then the phase advance activity is already in here every day, looking to get 1,700 steps before the circadian clock on the phase advance runs out of time. I got to get up, get out, and walk in the sunlight, preferably, to continually work at moving my circadian clock back or advancing it. What else have I got? Timeline. Different things show up here in the timeline throughout the day. 2:34 p.m. stretch break alert. That's probably because it's 3:04 now. I've been sitting here doing this review for it feels hours. It's telling me I should get up and move frequently, which I'm just about to do. And these are little hints, and you can just dismiss them. I achieved my goal of 8,000 steps. Yay! And it gives you little acknowledgments of you doing a good job. There's your Ring battery, a store, and then you can connect with a friend and refer your friend if you want to. If you don't have that set up, again, we appreciate you if you go in and let your friend know to head over to bit.ly/ultrahumanring because that link will take you in to get a 10% discount by applying the code TICKS when you check out. If you don't see TICKS there when you check out, however you go in, put TICKS in and take advantage of a 10% discount. Yet you can refer your friend. I believe you'd have to go through here and study it to see how you'd set that up. But then I think you guys can link together on all of this stuff too. The ring itself now, you get into that data by hitting ring battery. I'm going to do that. You see the ring. Wow, I'm down to 37%. Okay. They have a ring protection program and more information in here. And I just want to show you at the very bottom here, I've got the firmware, and you want to periodically check for updates to see if there's been an update. And I'm on the latest version, it says right now, of the firmware. It should push it to you automatically, but if it doesn't, check your firmware update on that page and see if it's an update is waiting for you. That's also the same as tapping up here. It gets you into the same overall place. Wow, have we covered everything? I think we have. You pull it down to refresh it. The refreshing line is here, and that's just the home. You have a whole nother thing on the M1, a whole different product that works with blood sugars, my understanding, and glucose monitoring. It's another product that they have available. You'll get information on that simply by tapping here. Zones, I mentioned before, is a new thing that they just added where you can create a zone and share your score with others, so you can keep track of your friends and set up, goals with each other. Discover is another interesting area where they have all kinds of different activities that you can do, workouts, sleeping, meditating, just tons and tons of stuff. All kinds of different podcast excerpts are in here too. And I've looked at some of the stuff. It's really robust. You got original series in Pilates and Ashtanga yoga. You'll notice in the breathing too, you have a lot of the different breathing techniques from these different modalities. Vinyasa, right? Vinyasa flow. Nice. Again, this particular ring heralds from India. And so there's a nice deep dive into a lot of Indian philosophy in exercise that you're finding built into this app. So that's a really nice advantage as well. You're getting kind of a whole different cultural aspect to it. You got weight loss, meditation. It just goes on. Mindful relationships. Look at this. Productivity and focus. Music tracks even in here. And then last tab is profile. Get into here. You get your basic information you can set up about you. You got insights. Weekly ring insights here are really, really fun. When you have had it long enough, you'll start to accumulate information that you can go back and look over and use in terms of guidance. And they will send you a notice when you have a full-on weekly report available. I'll show you that in just a moment. Finally, you've got the ability to connect to other apps. It's got all of these things in. And as I mentioned, they just added Strava in here. Fitbit is in here. Garmin is in here. All the big players that are in the watch arena to collect meaningful data can be integrated directly into this app. And you can pull that stuff together, as I'm mentioning, with all of the features that they do already in here. Look at this. Look at all these companies. Withings is in the Peloton with the bikes, right? Health Connect is in here. That's a big one because a lot of different companies are coagulating and cooperating and collaborating into the Health Connect system. Whoop, the other ring that's on the market is on a connection directly with this as well. Wow. Didn't realize it had grown that much in just the past 3 weeks or so. And if you think it can't even get any better than that, it still does. You can connect with an entire team of professionals in 2 different ways. There are performance coaches here, and they'll help you improve your overall well-being individually, one-on-one communication with you. We tap it, go into it. You can have a conversation directly right here, Or if you want, before jumping in on chatting, to get some answers to specific questions that they've been dealing with, you can jump in here and talk about glucose spikes, nutrition optimization, and so forth. So as you get accustomed to and grow with your ring, you'll be able to deepen your insight directly with the company. Not bad, huh? Not only that, but up here, you see these little goodies? You have this other chat. It's very similar. Tap into here. Now, instead of performance coaches, you are in the Ultrahuman Support Network for feedback, queries, memes, anything, whatever you need. New conversation, different conversation. And if you want answers, just tap over here. And it tells you what all these different things are. You've got a few more different topic areas you can go to for the overall ring support. So whether it's technical or whether it's personal, you've got yourself covered with all of this. Now, one more last thing to show you. When I tap into the settings gear and I land into the overall setup area, this is where you can put in your profile information, your height, your weight, your gender, all of those things. Partner ID now is a special thing for connecting with the coaches. When you put in this thing, they will be able to see your data, and you can give it to your doctor, your coach, whatever. It's a method of connecting into your data, so you're giving permission for a third party to take a look at all of that stuff. That's really nice. You've got languages, again, that you can set here, and we looked at, again, already, connecting with other apps, but here you could do it in the settings. These are different options you can turn on and off. A stimulant window. I still don't know what that one is. If I learn in an update video, I'll tell you about it. You can share the data, turn that on, and give that permission up there. You can have silent mode, a shift work mode, Fahrenheit, centigrade, glucose measurements, time format, and so forth. App version, terms and conditions, feedback, and everything else, including syncing your ring data and sharing your diagnostics logs if you have any issues come up. And that is all in this overall settings wheel. The weekly insight, let me show you one. Here we go, the most recent one, May 20 to 26. Hi, SmartWatch ticks. Here's my average scores up across the board in sleep, recovery, and movement. Then it gets into details. The index trend over the last 3 weeks, showing you that it has improved. What's improved? Well, sleep efficiency, restfulness is improved, heart rate drop has improved significantly on that one. Means how soon your body is able to get into a state of rest and recovery. Sorry if it's kind of washed out. The camera's on, or the phone is on full brightness when I do these playbacks. What needs improvement? My total sleep is down a little bit, not much. How to improve your total sleep gives you ideas. So whatever it is that needs improving, it's going to give you some guidance on it. My heart rate variability form, what is the trend across all the duration of sleep, it's gone down a little bit. How to improve it? There's restorative sleep, how to improve that as well. So that's all just on sleep. Then you've got your recovery index over the last 3 weeks. What's improved there? Temperature, movement, sleep quotient. What needs improvement? Here we go again. And then the movement index trend over the last 3 weeks. And that's been coming up. Notice the top 10 scores there. I got places to go to even top that. What's improved? Activity, step. What needs improvement? Active hours. I need to get up and move around more frequently throughout the day. And that's the weekly report. We've been at this for a while, so let me summarize my overall opinion of this one. As far as smart rings go, this is top of the line. If I could only have one, as you can see, I've got quite a few. If I could only have one, this would be it. Up until now, I would have probably said the Oura Ring. I got it nice and snug in here. But honestly, this is taking what the Oura Ring does, and it's adding some influence information to it to help me decide how to live my life in a direction I want to take it. You get good guidance from the Oura Ring. You get really good guidance also from the Ringcon Ring and the Circular Ring. However, those are more of, here's where you are right now, this is what's happened, and this is what you can do to incrementally improve it. And with the circadian rhythm adjust capability that is coming in with the Ultrahuman Ring Air, I'm blown away. I think it's a revolutionary new idea, and I think it's going to lead to a migration where we're going to see other companies start to jump into the how can I overall improve the trajectory of life, as opposed to just how did I do today with my workout, and that's a big philosophical change. So I'm all for it. The Ultrahuman Ring Air, it's a keeper. It's about the same price as the Oura Ring. Again, we can get you a discount of 10% off of it, which brings it down. And there's no monthly subscription with it either. That was a drawback with the Oura Ring, is a $7 a month additional continuous expense if you want to really keep track of the data and work with it. But you're getting all that stuff at no additional cost with the Ring Air. Wow, it's been quite a long review. I appreciate you being here as long as you have. I got just a couple of more things. One of the things, I always do the watch, and there's no watch there. One of the things I really admired about the Oura Ring was not only did you have the app, but you had integration with a PC. So you could tie all of your data together and stratify things and see where you could pull out information that you otherwise may not have seen. Well, it turns out that the Ultrahuman has the same capability. It's called Vision. Here's a little printout about it and just some very bad screenshots of a computer screen. You can access what's called the Unified Vision Platform to get in deeper insight. You have correlations between the markers from the Ring Air. It dissects them to a nuanced level. Yes, you get control in connecting the patterns with which are crucial for the precise optimization of your performance. Now, on and on and on and on, it's at vision.ultrahuman.com. You won't get past the login until you can, set up an account and have a ring on that account. When you do, you log in with the same Ultrahuman account that you do to set up your ring, and you'll instantly see all of your data start to show up on your tablet, on your computer, I believe even in a browser on your phone if you want to. And it's a whole different way of looking at the data and going way, way deeper than what you can even do with the app. Very, very nice. That pops it up to even supersede the Oura Ring in my estimation. I mean, they're great. If you want to get the circadian rhythm analysis so that you know exactly where you are, the Oura Ring can do that for you brilliantly. So can this one. But this one also gives you that ability to shift it, advanced or delayed over time by working with your minimal temperature in the middle of the night as a starting point. Wow, amazing. On top of that, being that I'm here in the U.S., it's really exciting to see that the Ultrahuman team are expanding, and they're looking at setting up a manufacturing facility in the state of Indiana, here in the USA, which means any of you guys local here, USA, are going to be ordering an Ultrahuman Ring Air. You're going to have direct relation to the company. It's not an international exercise to work with them if you need to send it in for repair, return, or exchange or something like that. So that's going to be happening. It's the first ever domestically manufactured smart ring in the USA. Yeah. And really, really proud to see that happening. And a little bit more you can read about it. And this, of course, is available on their website. So definitely, that's why this review is so long. The things I really like, I tend to go into a lot of detail because I spend a lot of time with them. And I'm living and loving this particular ring. There are upcoming changes happening all the time to the firmware of the ring and to the app itself. And I expect to see more features popping up soon. We probably are going to be doing update videos throughout the rest of this year and next year for this wonderful product. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.